Hey Joy Chasers, it's another late night.
Tea gone lukewarm, slow. I count my own footsteps just to let my mind go. I used to raise the mirror.
And when it's a late night, the world gets a little quieter.
There's a truth in the quiet that's been waiting for me. I don't need a big sign, I just need
the notifications stop.
one deep breath, one
The to-do list can finally wait until tomorrow.
back again. Late night thoughts. I'm not lost, I'm just here.
But somehow, guess what, y'all? That's when the ordinary moments in life start making a little more sense. Because you got the opportunity to think.
Thoughts, and I'm still here. I keep my circle gentle. I keep my edges kind. Not every door is open. Not every road is mine. I can love them
And that's what late night thoughts is for.
and more. There's enough in the now if I walk through the door. I don't need a loud rush, I don't need a crowd's praise. I can build a soft fire, I can make my own pace. And I come back again. Late night thoughts, I'm not lost,
It's a place
I'm
to slow
just
down,
here.
reflect, and discover what an ordinary lived experience has been trying to tell us all along.
I hold my life in open hands. Late night thoughts, and I'm still here. If my heart gets heavy, I let it breathe. I don't force the answer, I just let it see. One small step, one true tone, I can be at home. Late night thoughts. I'm not lost, I'm just here. Late night thoughts. Choosing joy, choosing clear eyes. Slow it down, I let it land. I hold my life in open hands.
Hey Joy Chasers, welcome to Late Night Thoughts with me, Dr. Joy, a proud Gen Xer and over 50 girly. And around here, we slow down long enough to think about the ordinary moments that end up teaching us about life. I am ready to share with you all because what I live by is loving who you are and letting no one take your joy away. Y'all see, tonight I'm usually inside for late night thoughts. Tonight I decided that I was going to be outside on my patio, covered patio out here. Back in the back here is Joy Chaser Perch. If you've been watching any of my vlogs and episodes, you know I always talk about the birds. Right now all you hear are the cicadas and the crickets and the frogs because it's nighttime. But before I started recording tonight, I was out here 8:30. I try to get out 8:30 every day. Between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, I am listening to the birds settle into the bamboo in the back. But anyway, I wanted to bring you into my space today because as I was just really sitting there, and for a couple of weeks now, I have been having some thoughts. And those thoughts was about an appointment that I had. But before I get into that, I'm drinking chai tea and I am doing another diamond art. I know some of you are probably already wondering, like, what is this? This is my Diamond Art. I just got this one, just started maybe about 3 days ago. You can see it's not that much on there just yet, but it is getting there. And this one is, it's kind of like a woo-saw young lady on here that once I finish, it should be where she's kind of like meditating. So I hope you enjoy that as well. Once I get done, you'll see the product of that. But let's get back to this late night thought, because this one here really have been on my mind, not just tonight as we're talking about it, but it's been on my mind for the past couple weeks. I went to my annual GYN appointment. And you know, that is something that if you take care of your health on a regular basis, that's something that you do every single year, clockwork. I've been doing it for decades. But this time, you know, when I walked out of the office from that appointment, I literally felt that I had crossed over 50. Well, I went to the doctor today. As you know, I just had a birthday, 53. And I've always been taught that every single year you are to go to the female doctor, the GYN, in order to get your annual exam. And I went today, and of course, I'm 53. So I went in, did my weight, my blood pressure, and then the lady asked me, she's like, so I guess you're done. And I said, done with what? And then she said, you still have periods? I was like, yeah. Yes. And she's like, oh man. And I was like, yeah, oh man, I'm not there yet. Anyway, went into my appointment, saw my GYN. She was like, oh, glad you're here today. We're going to do your exam really quick, and then we'll be done. This time when I walked out of the office, I literally felt that once you cross 50, the conversation starts to get smaller. Yes. And then she said, you don't have a pap smear today. I said, what? What do you mean? I came for a pap smear today. She's like, oh, well, you don't need a pap smear every year. I'm just going to check and feel around and then you're done. Literally, y'all. 2 minutes. And the questions, even though your questions are getting bigger, because this is a different time in our life. And when it's a different time in our life, it's things that we don't know, we haven't gone through. And so we have lots of questions, but those conversations are getting smaller. Has anyone else, felt the way that I'm feeling when I talk about that? And if you have, just yell out like, yeah, girl, I have too. And I've been carrying this thought around for some weeks now, y'all. And with all of that being said, I don't usually record my thoughts after a doctor's appointment, but this one had me thinking so much that I was sitting in the parking lot and I just had to press record, because I just was like, I needed a minute to process, my feelings here. I went in, probably got a bill, but I have insurance, for $200+ for her to tell me, I'm just gonna feel around. So I'm saying all that to say, even though I'm 53, even though I don't want any periods anymore, even though I definitely done with kids, I'm an empty nester, but isn't my health important too?
thought I was supposed to come every year to get a pap smear to make sure that I am not have anything going on in those areas that we don't see.
Okay, so that, when y'all saw that, that was the beginning of June when I had that appointment. And here I am we're in July, weeks later, still, thinking about it because it bothered me. And it's not that the appointment was bad. It's not that something happened that was terrible. It was just I needed to spend some time looking into why things went the way they did, because I wanted to understand, like, what just happened here? So this is what I know based on just my thoughts and thinking about this for the past couple weeks. I know clinically, based on what my doctor said, the guidelines for women in the over 50 season have changed. And if you've had a history of normal pap smears, the current recommendation is to go back to your doctor, to your GYN, every 3 to 5 years. Logically, yeah, I understand that. I do. I respect the research. I do. I respect the science. I respect everything that my doctor had to say in regards to that. But where I think we sometimes miss the mark is when we allow the guidelines to replace the conversation. So she says 3 to 5 years. And then after those 3 to 5 years, then you come back and get another pap smear. Okay, that's the guideline. But it is replacing the conversation that I think that we need to be having with our doctor. Because while these recommendations change from year to year, me being the woman that was sitting on that exam table is still having a lived experience. And that lived experience is what's happening to me. Some things are going on. I'm still noticing these changes. I'm still wondering what's normal. I'm still trying to understand my body in this season, this over 50 season. And that's the part that I do not want us to lose as women. I don't want us to lose who we are and it to be thrown away because there's not really a conversation. The other thing that stayed with me wasn't whether or not I needed an exam that day. But what stayed with me most was realizing how much I valued the conversation that I thought I was going to be getting with the people that are, dealing with my health, whether they are gynecologists, whether or not they're my primary care physician, whether or not there is the dietitian that I may be going to, whoever is there helping with this season of my life. I want conversation. I want to leave understanding that my body is a little bit better than when I walked in, because that's what gives me personally confidence. And I think that this season, this over 50 season of life, deserves that kind of conversation. What y'all think? What do you think about that? Do you think it deserves a quick, thank you, ma'am, turn around, you gone? Or a conversation about what is happening? Because guess what, y'all? If we don't ask questions, how do we know? Do you just go through the motions on autopilot? I had a late night thought about that. Okay. Are you going through just emotions? Are you just listening to whoever and saying, okay? Not me. I've always been the patient who asks questions. I want to know why. I want the education behind what's being recommended to me. I want to understand what's happening, to my body, because when I understand that, I can make informed decisions. And then I don't have to be finding 3 to 5 years later, like, uh-oh, like what? No, that should not be happening. That has always been important to me because my body, this body here is my sanctuary. It has carried me through every season of life, through my adult life. It's carried me through celebrations and disappointments and highs and lows and long work days and families and now empty nesters, dreams, whatever. Everything in between, it has carried me. So I hope that when I get ready to have an appointment and it's talking about this body, my sanctuary, that I am able to have that conversation. And if that seems like it's not going to happen, I'm going to make it happen. Okay. I'm going to make it happen. If anybody know me, I am going to make it happen. You're not just going to have me in there 2-3 minutes and boom, bam, the conversation is over. No. Because when you see your body as something worth caring for, you naturally want to understand what's happening to it. You want to sit down and have a real conversation, not a rush conversation, not because you're, questioning someone's expertise. That's not what you're doing. But because you're trying to understand, your own lived experience, maybe you are wondering why your sleep changed. Okay. I know for me, I'm a night owl. Y'all see, I'm at a late night thought right now. So, not too much is changing for me. I'm trying to do better. Y'all. Trying to get to bed better. Trying to get to bed earlier. But that's probably not going to happen. I think I get that honestly from both of my parents. They are late night owls, just like me. So we stay up. But, those things that are happening to us after 50, like brain fog and sleep and your joints aching and hot flashes, or why perimenopause seems to be changing things you never expected to change. These are not just symptoms. These are experiences. They're not just, oh, I got this symptom. No, it's an experience. I'm having an experience here. I'm having a hot flash. I'm having brain fog. I'm having this. I'm having that. And those experiences, I feel, deserve conversation.
So, of course, me, being the person that I am, I always ask questions because I just think being at the doctor's should not be 10 minutes. I think they need to educate you. I think they need to be able to sit down with you at least 15 minutes to say X, Y, and Z about your health. Not just say, okay, I just piddle around in there and you're done. See me in 2 years. What the heck? Like, no. Educate me. Why do I have to have 2 years? Of course, I'm asking. So I'm asking all those questions about 2 years. Oh, well, you don't need to come every year. It is recommended that it's 5 years. But for my patients, I only do 2 years. Okay. And then she said, well, I do 2 years so you will not get out of the system. And you have to do this until you're 65. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So that's more information for us over 50 girlies to know that once you're over 50, you don't need to be going every year, according to them.
This one here, y'all, is, these are so tiny. I have to be really looking. I'm glad I have this little light here with me that I can really kind of highlight what's going on, because if not, it is low, very, 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 very tiny. Okay, let's get back to the conversation though. I just want us to know that conversation matters, and it matters to me so much because good conversation doesn't just give us answers. Sometimes it helps us to discover the questions we didn't even know we needed to ask. The more I thought about my doctor's visit, the more I truly realized that it wasn't about the appointment, y'all. It wasn't. It made me, think about women in this season of life. We are still building careers. Some of us are beginning new chapters that we never really expected to happen to us. We have a lot going on during this stage. People think that when you're over 50, you're going down here. I always say, don't put that on me. No, I'm not going downhill. I'm winding up. I'm winding up because I have a different perspective of life because y'all, now I'm living my best life. I'm an empty nester. I don't have any kids at the house. We're at that retirement stage. We're at all the things that we, have worked so hard to get to. And when things start to happen and change from my body, do I want to then have a conversation with the expert and ask why this, that, and the other? Yeah. And for me, after 50, life hasn't slowed down. In many ways, it has become fuller. And while our lives continue to move forward, our bodies are changing. And that deserves conversation. And not a quick 2-minute conversation saying, here's your I'm getting ready to check you out in the end. No, real conversation. The kind of conversation where you don't feel like you're simply checking the box that you had a doctor's appointment on the books. The kind of conversation where you leave understanding your body just a little bit better than, when you walked in. And I know for a fact that our bodies are changing. Nobody don't need to tell me that. I know. Not because our bodies are failing us, but because they're asking us to get to know them in a new way. So how am I supposed to know that, y'all? How am I supposed to know that if nobody's answering any questions? If they're just giving me a little exam and saying, okay, I'll see you in 3 to 5 years. What? No.
Will be doing this every 2 to 5 years up until you're 65. And then she said, oh, well, if you don't get a period, hopefully you won't have a period next year. And then you can come back and talk to me then. Oh, and then she said, oh, by the way, there's perimenopause stuff going. Why isn't that part of your routine with talking to me, with telling me how my health is? I think that we as society just take the experts' advice and or suggestions and just go with it. I don't. Educate me. Tell me. You're not going to spend 2 minutes with me for $150+ and think I'm supposed to be like, okay, see you in 2 years. No. I'm like, okay, now let's talk. Tell me some things. What do I need to know as I age gracefully in my 50s? What are some What are some things that I need to look out for when it comes to me aging gracefully? I know I'm not single, so therefore I know my situation may be different from somebody else over 50. Are you telling those ladies what they need to be doing? I just think we are so much into rush, and never into educating a person about what the problem or problems that they could or could not have. And is it fair? No. So I say, us over 50 girlies, advocate for yourself. Make sure you're not letting your doctor spend 2 minutes with you and charging you, even though you don't see the price if you have insurance, but you're paying for it on the back end when you paying that insurance company. So make sure that you know what is going on with your health and that they don't shortchange you in the process. And then when you get 60, oh, by the way, you got this. What? How do I have that now? When you should have been checking all along. When you should have been educating me all along. Okay. I know. That was a rant. But I am truly about making sure that we advocate for ourselves and making sure that we know what is going on with us as we continue to live gracefully and chase joy. Because I can't be chasing joy out there knowing I may be having something and nobody educated me to know what to be even looking out for. But anyway.
So again, you saw the second part of my, I guess you could say, my car rant. And it just kept coming back to me as I continued to kind of think and keep talking about it. But what I do want to say, it wasn't about whether or not my doctor was good or bad, y'all. That actually was not the point at all when I had this conversation and when I started that rant. The point was that I didn't have a conversation. I had to basically force the conversation. And I found myself thinking, why would this season require, more conversation instead of less? Literally, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, y'all. No, literally 2 minutes. And if I did not force more questions for her to answer, she would have been satisfied with that. And I hate to say that, but it's true. And that's my experience. Maybe you've had something different, and everybody has their different perspectives on how or when and where they go to the doctor. But that was mine, and that's how I felt. And I understand that doctors have schedules. I understand that there are insurance companies and you have to meet whatever quota. I understand that there are time limits. I can't be in there 2 hours talking to you about all these questions that I may have. I understand that this season of life in the past hasn't gotten the attention. Like our parents, they didn't get the attention that we are now demanding. Okay? We now, the over 50 girlies, the Gen Xers, we are demanding attention. And everybody is looking and like, what's going on with them? We're not winding down. We're winding up. We are embracing our age and feeling good about it. And I think all of that deserve a conversation when your body is doing all kind of new stuff. Okay. So understanding the system doesn't mean I want to stop the conversation. Education has always given me confidence. If you know anything about me, if you watch my vlogs, you know I am a retired educator and vice principal. So definitely I'm all about education. And because of the education, that is why I ask questions. It's why I want someone, to explain what's happening instead of simply telling me what's next. Come back in 3 to 5 years. What? I'm being serious, y'all. But once I understand, then I become a partner in my own health. And I think that's where many of us need to be, a partner, not a person that just listen and do as I say, not as I do situation. You need to be a partner. You need to be like, oh, do I that's going on, this is what I'm experiencing, what do you think about this? Or, oh, I didn't experience that, do I need to get this? It's just a lot of questions that you can be having, and that conversation can be a little bit longer than 2 minutes. And that is maybe why I am still thinking about it. I wasn't looking for just more time. I was looking for more conversation and the knowledge about this season of my life. If there's one thing that this appointment, really reminded me of, is that nobody will ever care about my health as much as I do. Nobody. I don't mean that to be negative, y'all. I mean it to be a responsibility. I am responsible for my health. I am. So if something is missed, even though I may not be the expert, but I am going to make sure that I have asked the right questions in order for my doctor to be looking out for me. It is my responsibility to ask questions. It's my responsibility to say, can you help me to understand what is happening with my body? It is my responsibility to ask for options or not. Those are basically all of my responsibilities. I want to leave my appointment and informed. I really, really do. And y'all see how this is getting to me. I'm doing more talking than I am doing with this this diamond art tonight. Usually I can go back and forth, but this topic here has just really, really stayed with me, and I'm very, very passionate about it. And I'm not saying that I want to be difficult when it comes to having these appointments and asking for that conversation. And I'm not trying to be challenging, but my health matters, y'all. It's important to me. My questions are important, and I should be able to be given that time. And this season of our life, if you are over 50 or whatever season you're in, it deserves conversation when you're at an appointment and it's all about, your health. And I think that is what I was trying to put into words when I had my last little rant. Okay, listen to this, y'all.
Oh, and then to top it off, as I was getting ready to leave, and the lady says, you ready to check out? And I said, yeah. And then she said, okay, you are to be seen by the doctor in 2 years. Would you like to make your appointment now? Yes. And she's like, oh, we don't make appointments 2 years out. And it's all these people just like in the lobby smiling like a little chuckle. And I'm just like, oh, you don't? Well, I don't supposed to come back in 2 years, so what am I supposed to do? And then she said, oh, well, just call us back in a year and then make the appointment 1 year out. They really do not focus on after 50 and making sure that you are properly prepared for this time in your life. And I don't like it.
All right, y'all. I thought about this conversation for weeks, and I think I figured it out. The older I get, the more I realize that taking care of myself isn't something that I'm just going to squeeze into my life. I'm not. It is my life. It's how I keep showing up for the people I love. It's how I get to keep traveling. It's how I get to keep dating my husband by, figuring it out and asking questions. It's how I keep being able to sit out here tonight and talk to y'all and work on a hobby that brings me peace. It's how I get to keep chasing after joy. Yeah, that's what it's about. And maybe that's why this conversation tonight in my car rant was something that kept being on my mind. Because I wasn't, looking for the perfect conversation, y'all. I wasn't looking for a longer appointment because I wasn't looking for someone to have all the answers for me at that moment. I was just looking for a conversation. If I got to come back in 3 to 5 years, that's a whole lot of conversation, a whole lot of time that's going to bypass that you don't even know nothing about me. Even if I had been knowing this doctor for a longer time than a year and a half, still, you're not going to see me for 3 years, 2 to 5 years. If I really say I'm not going back until 5 years, you're not going to know who I am. I'm not going to know who you are. I'm not going to know anything about my body. You haven't told me anything that I need to look forward to. I didn't get a chance to ask you any questions. It's just a lot, y'all. Because I'm going to keep saying, this season deserves conversation. And if you're watching this tonight and you've ever walked in an appointment at a doctor's office or your GYN and you were feeling like, gosh, I got a lot of questions, and you were not able to ask those questions, I hope through this late night thought and kind of starting to think about your lived experiences with you being an over 50 girly or whatever season of life you're in, that you will begin to ask questions. If you need someone to explain something, ask them to explain it to you. If you leave confused and you're like, gosh, I didn't ask that question, call back. I've done that with my general practitioner. I came home, I looked at test results. He had told me everything's fine. And then I look at him, I was like, what is this? I go to the Google doctor, and the Google doctor said, you're dying. And then I was like, no, this is not where I want to be. I need to ask some questions. I made an appointment. I went back. My general practitioner knows who I am when it comes to asking questions. He sat there. We talked about it. I asked my questions. He answered my questions. He gave me suggestions. He did all the things. And he told me to stop looking at Google for my end all be all, because I'm not dying and I'm fine. Now that was funny. But anyway, if you feel like you need another opinion about whatever the doctor is telling you, give yourself permission to get one. And that's not being difficult. That's not being challenging. That's saying, hey, my health is important. And it is. I spent a lot of time on this channel talking about chasing joy. And on this channel, you have seen me in my garden, the Joy Chaser Purge, Sunrise Falls, and I find joy in those things. You see me tonight working on a hobby, and I find joy in that. And sometimes you see me just doing, on a Saturday or a weekend, just doing the ordinary things. I want to say that yes, all of that is chasing after joy. All of that is all the peace and the things that go along with being happy on the outside and internally finding that peace. But chasing joy also looks like taking care of yourself. Seriously enough to ask questions, because the life we're building, whatever season you're building it in, deserves that type of care, y'all. That was a biggie for me tonight, to, I guess, really, really think about this season of my life, being an over 50 girly, and making sure that I am seen and not pushed to the side. That I ask questions because I don't know. This is something new. It's kind of like if you've ever had children and you have the first one and it's like, you don't know even how to put a bottle in his mouth, because you either have to ask your mama or somebody has to come and show you how to do it. Same thing for over 50. Either you are hearing from the social media what perimenopause looks like, or you are asking your own doctor those same questions. It's left up to you. It's left up to you. And it is definitely loving who you are and letting no one take your joy away. And your joy is also your health. All right, y'all. This has been a great conversation, another late night thought. I'm glad that you were here with me tonight, and I hope that you learned something from my little rant. And now when you get ready to go back to any appointment that you may be going to, you're going to ask questions and have a conversation. And don't let them rush out, okay? Have a conversation because you deserve it. Until next time, bye.
Dim light on the table, tea gone lukewarm slow. I count my own footsteps just to let my mind go. I used to raise the mirror, now I let it speak. There's a truth in the quiet that's been waiting for me. I don't need a big sign, I just need a clear lane. One deep breath, one honest name, and I come back again. Late night thoughts, I'm not lost, I'm just here. Late night thoughts, choosing joy, choosing clear. I slow it down, I let it land. I hold my life in open hands. Late night thoughts, and I'm still here. I keep my circle gentle, I keep my edges kind. Not every door is open, not every road is mine. I can love the moment without chasing more. There's enough in the now if I walk through the door. I don't need a loud rush, I don't need a crowd's praise. I can build a soft fire, I can make my own pace, and I